Good morning, and we're going to continue today. Reading from my little book, um, Does God Have a Hero? Written in 1999, soon, fairly soon, after I had gained, gifted, graced a life of sobriety, decade of drinking. It's hard for me to rightly say, it's easier to say, I quit drinking, but it doesn't really capture what happened. Quit drinking means that I made a conscious and firm decision that I'm going to stop drinking, and there was a struggle. And eventually, I achieved 25 years of sobriety. 25 ish. Hey, Squirrel Sniper. Grand Rising there. Grand Rising to you, my friend. However, that's a simple explanation, but it's not what happened. What happened was I never tried to quit drinking, never attempted. Um, but I got myself in a bit of trouble. Surprisingly, unsurprisingly, you have a life of heavy drinking, going to bars every night. Um, it's nothing but trouble. I drank myself out of relationships. I wrecked cars. I endangered my life and the life of others, innocent people. Um, so how can I say, well, I got myself in trouble? It was nothing but trouble. And then one day it was done. One day, in a flash of shiny and swirling light, sounds like a miracle, right? Vision of light. However, it was a vision in my rearview mirror of a police officer finally pulling me over, getting me off the road. Um, yep, 2000, or I'm sorry, 1999. After a decade of drinking and being a complete asshole. Um, Not that I wasn't a nice guy all along, but I was acting like an asshole, as we all do from time to time, and continue to do from time to time. Hopefully less. Um, and I saw the light behind me, and instead of regret, instead of, um, man, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me, instead of trying to bargain, um, I knew I was gifted with an opportunity, and that if I never, ever wanted to ever have a drink again, it was a possibility. All I had to do was step in that direction. And I did. I wasn't beckoned, I wasn't asked, it was just presented as an opportunity. For whatever reason, for whatever grace of mind I had, I stepped in that direction. Pretty amazing for me. Now, I believe that that moment of grace was offered to me because I had been practicing meditation for a long time, and things, one of my favorite words, were aligning in that way. When we say aligning, it doesn't mean by divine grace or anything like that, because it could go in any direction. Alignment doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make the right decision. It means that you are aligning for those right decisions to be presented as opportunities. It's up to you to step within those opportunities. Alexandria, my friend, how are you? Optimob is driving. It says, good morning. Good morning, my friend. So after a decade of drinking, being given the gift of sobriety, continuing my practice of yoga and meditation, as well as practicing A Course in Miracles, I meditated. Don says, Phil, what are we learning today, brother? I'm talking about my path of sobriety, um, how it was given to me. Hey, Sue. Hey, it is morning for you. I know you're in the same time zone. Good morning. Sue says, good morning. Heading back to sleep after getting kitty. Last night I saw the Northern Lights. Wow. And Fireball Meteor while filming a plane. Nice. I couldn't believe it. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm going to check your channel out right after the live stream. Oh, after I come back from my walk. Um, so yeah, I was meditating. I finished getting ready for the day, feeling a bit lost after doing anything for a decade, especially anything negative for a decade. Um, you might feel a bit lost because one way of life, however destructive it might have been, is now lost and gone. You're embracing the unknown. Always going to be some fear, always going to be some uncertainty, as there should be. Fear and uncertainty is not a bad thing. The key to remember is we are not without tools to navigate fear. We are not without tools to navigate uncertainty. So I remember asking myself, what should I do? How should I live my life from this moment on? And an intuitive poem came to me. Does God have a hero? That I wrote down. This isn't hero, it's hero in the metaphorical, in the mythic sense. Joseph Campbell's The Path of the Hero. Um, and of course, God is not the God of whatever concepts we have, but the God that was presented to me in that moment. Universe, love, the Tao, Krishna consciousness. Don says, well, I'm glad for your victory, brother. You're a warrior. I respect that. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. Sue says, got some geese flying in the evening too. Nice. So, after that little bit of revelation, I wrote an essay for each one of the stanzas of the poem. For me, this was just a little handbook on how to live my life onwards. And I've done my best to live up to it. I eventually published it. It was published in 2000, the year 2000. So almost 25 years ago. Still available on Amazon. Does God Have a Hero? I'm going to read the first few stanzas, and then on the last one, I'll read the essay that goes with it. When you close your eyes and see God within, you are God's hero. When you open your eyes and see God in everyone, you are God's hero. When you let anger pass you by with a smile upon your lips, you are God's hero. When you hold love in your heart and peace within your mind, you are God's hero. When you behold the beauty of a flower and feel the kinship with all life, you are God's hero. Verse 6. When you look at someone who is different and see only how you are alike, you are God's hero. And this is the essay. We are all different shapes and sizes, colors and beliefs. Differences can be wonderful, yet they often create a division among us that needs to be healed. Yes, we are all different. However, on a much deeper level, we are all the same. God is truth, and there is only one truth. Truth, like people, can be seen differently, yet what is really true remains true. Let us take the time to view what is true in other people. We all share this world together. We all experience loneliness, laughter, sadness, joy, and pain. The need for love is universal. If we can extend our love just a little bit to a stranger, he will no longer seem so strange. Differences will have disappeared, and if only for a moment, love will be shared. That was verse 6. So, that was the reading for today from Does God Have a Hero? When I wrote this in 1999, when I wrote it, my acknowledgement was to Paramahansa Yogananda. He wrote Autobiography of a Yogi way back in the 1940s. Eknath S. Warren, who was a very important early meditation teacher for me. Wonderful books. His book, Passes Meditation, lays out a complete spiritual path of meditation, of compassion. As a matter of fact, The subtitle of the book, my book, Does God Have a Hero, is Meditations on Compassionate Living, Meditations for Compassionate Living. As well, I thank the teachings and teachers of A Course in Miracles, which has been important for me since, man, I discovered it in like 89 and messed around with it for a long time before it finally called 2008, when once again my life was falling apart. I was caregiving for my mother in her later stages of Alzheimer's, along with my father, who had suffered a stroke. I was in the beginning of a long process of divorce. And at the same time, my wife was serving active duty, and she was in Air Force active duty in Iraq for a year. And she had asked me if I would stay and take care of my stepdaughter, 14, entering high school. Difficult time for any kid, really difficult time for a extremely shy, sensitive young girl who mother was away. Fortunately, I had and have a great relationship with my stepdaughter, and we got through it together. But yeah, it was a difficult time, and somehow intuitively, I knew that after all those years of being on the surface of A Course in Miracles, it was time to dig deep, completely surrender to living it, which I did for the entire year and after. However, the mistake people make with any practice is you think you arrive. I've gotten somewhere. I hit the big times. I'm awakened. I'm enlightened. I'm at peace. And of course, life smiles and says, yeah, just wait. Just wait and see what happens next. So I had sort of put A Course in Miracles aside, believing it was working and living through me, to an extent that it was. But anytime you think that you remain on the path, you're actually stepping off the path. The path is life itself. And you cannot separate the things that you do, meditation, breath work, yoga, forgiveness, qigong, prayer, anything that leads us towards an open heart and a peaceful state of mind. It's a practice. It's life itself. In Zen, it's said that the practice is enlightenment. You don't practice to attain, you practice because it is. Meaning, practicing forgiveness is forgiveness. Forgiveness is a great equalizer. It evens out our karmic debt. Are you worried about karma? You should be. I don't mean that in a bad way. Jace says, may this week reveal blessings to you all. Well, thank you, Jace. And to you as well, my friend. When I say you should be worried about karma, it's not because karma is bad. It's not because it's going to get you. Not because you did bad things in your life. It means karma is simply cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. Or it's seen actually in a better way. It is simply effect and effect and effect, because every effect has a cause, and every cause has infinite effects. So we are always living out these effects. We're always living out past choices, past decisions, no matter what they are, good or bad, as well as being involved in the karmic choices of other people. What a mess. It can give you a headache just thinking about it. However, we are not bound by any past choice. Yoga shows us the mess of the mind, the kleshas, the 5 afflictions. So does Buddhism. Yoga says simply by being aware, we now begin to make better choices. Because up until this point, we haven't really made choices. Not us, not who we truly are. We've lived by those cause and effects. We have lived by, under the guise of the illusion that we are an ego, separate from other people, and that the choices others don't make don't affect us, and that the choices we make don't affect us and other people. That's the illusion. That's the ego. So yoga shows us the path out of that. However, here's the secret shortcut: forgiveness, continuous 24-hour forgiveness. And we enter a state of grace that allows us to escape cause and effect. Because now we're not just living a life of effect, we're going straight to the cause. The cause is each and every moment. Each moment, you can choose ego or you can choose love. Purposely not using the word God. God doesn't sit well with every people because we've been beaten over the head with the concept of God forever. We're told by other people what God is. So we've forgotten the presence of God in our heart. That's God, presence, who you are, what you are, all the time. Not a concept, not a religion, not someone that someone can stand up on a pulpit and say, you are this and you are that. You are a sinner, you are saved, you can't be saved. If you're a Democrat, you can't be saved. If you're a Republican, you can't be saved. Someone is always telling you something. None of it is true. None of it, including what I'm saying. There's the paradox. Because I'm using words as a pointer, but it's up to you. Close your eyes, see God within. Open your eyes, see God in other people. The Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. The God that can be described is not truly God, but the God that can be lived and expressed from the heart. Now that's true. Every moment can we extend ourselves as love, forgiving others and ourselves, because as Ramana Maharshi said, when he was asked, how do you treat others? And he smiled and said, there are no others. Hey, Sabine, how are you? So each moment, and we proceed from there. That's how you escape the karmic wheel for a life of grace. Excuse me, guys, continuous grace. That might be the only choice we ever get to make, because everything else is that mind stuff that we're caught in. And yoga, the 5 afflictions, we can also call it the 5 addictions. We are addicted in the belief that we are a small, separate ego. We're addicted to the belief that this is who we are. The voice in our head, the thoughts, the narration, that's not who we are. That's just a neurochemical synapses firing away. We are addicted to our attachments, things being a certain way, things always making us comfortable, at ease, whatever. We are addicted to our aversions. I don't like this thought. I don't like this person. I don't like how you think. I don't like your opinion. I don't like beets. I don't like whatever. Beets are okay, by the way. And we are addicted to our fear. Fear that we are a small, limited ego. We can let it go simply by being aware that all that's happening. And then in that awareness comes the spontaneous, infinitely loving unfoldment of forgiveness. It's a beautiful way to navigate through the world, untouched by outer circumstances. Doesn't mean that we don't participate in the outer circumstances. It means that now, internally, our inner smile, as they say in Qigong, cultivating our inner smile, we are untouched by it. It's a smile that never ceases. It's in our heart. If you guys are interested in practicing Qigong, I'm not a Qigong teacher, but our friend, Buddha of Destiny Namaste, she's a great Qigong practitioner. Check out her channels, check out her live streams. I do love Qigong, by the way. I consider it a sister practice, a sister science of yoga. So my time is coming up for a walk outside. Still over an hour from sunrise. I like getting that early morning light. It gets harder this time of year because the sun is coming up later. However, you don't need to see the light to know that it's there and to know that it's shifting in your favor. The light is always shifting in your favor. So, in yogic traditions, hour and a half before the sun comes up, about an hour afterwards, is called Brahma Muhurta, the hours of God. That's when the veil between us and ultimate reality is at its thinnest. You can step right through. Jim Morrison said, break on through to the other side. At this hour in the morning, you don't need to break on through. You're already there. So with that, oh, I'm sorry, let me catch up here, guys. Jay says, my mind has opened a little bit more. Is God really one true love? Really only true love? All it can be. All that God can be is simply true love. But we fill ourselves up with concepts. Don't believe the concepts. The life that you have been led to believe by others since birth. Everyone tells you what to do, what you are, how to do it. My favorite example, color in the lines. Don't ever use the wrong crayon. The sky always has to be blue. The grass always has to be green. So put that purple crayon down. It serves you no purpose. The purple crayon is your intuitive sense of love. You can color the sky whatever you want. The sky itself ultimately has no color. Blue is an illusion. But here's the amazing thing about the sky. It's always open, always inclusive. It never minds and instantly forgives every single airplane that passes through. It never complains about a cloud. It doesn't stifle a branch or a mountaintop that is reaching up through it. It just embraces and embraces and embraces. In Dzogchen Buddhism, there is the clear sky meditation. We simply contemplate the sky and recognize our own openness, our own innate emptiness that is all embracing for everything. We're scared of our own emptiness because it's so vast and large, but it's so vast and large that it is the unmanifest form for the manifest to happen. It's who you are. Primordial awareness. Every moment. We're afraid of our own largeness, so we settle for the representation of our littleness. And we go through life with that littleness, the ego, puffing itself up every opportunity. Look at me, look how important I am. And that creates the shadow effect. The shadow effect is projecting darkness and fear out into the world, and yet at the very same time, idolizing people, things, events that represent the best of us that we are unable to accept. So we project it outwards. We live in the illusion of projection. Forgiveness takes us from projection to the extension of love. Blue sky nature. Every moment, every moment. In terms of Course in Miracles, each moment gives us a choice of accepting the crucifixion, the crucifix, or accepting the resurrection. The resurrection represents love, represents forgiveness, represents reality, God. So here's the thing, Jace. Our brains will never understand God because the brain is a wonderful instrument within the mind of God in which we share. Ideas leave not their source. According to A Course in Miracles, we are an idea in the mind of God, meaning we have never left the source. You don't need to search for God. We just open to God because God is who and what we are. Doesn't mean that we are a God. It means that we are God, an idea in the mind of God. Back to our shared favorite metaphor, Jace. Waves in the same ocean of consciousness. waves in the same ocean of God. Individual waves, expressing ourselves uniquely and beautifully at this moment, right now, this life. And yet, when this life is over, we collapse again in the mind of God. We collapse again into that great ocean of consciousness. Do we become another wave? Probably. Almost most certainly. But that doesn't mean that we leave the ocean ever. As Alan Watts said, the ocean waves, the tree branches, and the universe selves. S-E-L-V-E-S. The universe selves. We are a self expressed. The universe expressed as a self, but never no less than a universe. Speed says, Jace, true love is in you, in all of us. Absolutely. So, let me get outside, take a walk. As I walk, as it gets lighter and lighter and lighter each step, I'm going to join Jace in the prayer that he offered. May this week reveal blessings to all of you, each and every one of you. And may we share those blessings. Take time today to let people know, hey, this is the blessing that I received this week. And you're part of it. Let's bless each other. I'm often told, here's the last thing, I promise. I'm often told only God can bless. And I agree. And you are no less than idea in the mind of God, meaning you get to extend those blessings. You get to extend those blessings. Don't believe in your littleness. Embrace how large you truly, truly, truly are. Unconditionally. Love you guys. Take care.